Have any advice for enemies to lovers romances? My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. I have a couple pieces of advice that I think work well for enemies to lovers. So, one, I think that there needs to be a reason why they hate each other. They can do it very quickly. I'm okay with like an insta hate or an instant dislike, but I want this hate and this like tension between them to be tied to who they are as characters and the decisions that those characters would make like logically and naturally. So like if she's an activist trying to protect her community and he's trying to build a building in this community, they are on opposite sides of that situation. They might be meeting for the very, very first time, but they are like those are decisions that they make as characters, and it is tied to the things that matter to them and their goals within the story. And by the way, this is an opinion. Like someone asked me my opinion on this, and you're going to find lots of examples and lots of people who disagree with me, and that's all okay. But I dislike it when like an enemies to lovers is like we disagree about a thing that has absolutely nothing to do with each other, and like we could very easily set this aside for the sake of a relationship, or we meet and we hate each other like for no reason, and we're gonna like pretend to not know what's going on between us for a long time. Like I feel that all feels very contrived. And so if they are making decisions based on who they are as characters, and then the reasons that they dislike each other are tied to those decisions, tied to those motivations, and pretty bound up in the why of how they know each other, I think that works better. And then the second thing that I think is important is they both need to be a little bit right and a little bit wrong. Now, you can play with these ratios kind of a lot. I'm not saying that they both need to be like 50-50, like he's half right, half wrong, and she's half right, half wrong, and substitute in whatever genders you need for your story. But like, it does not need to be 50-50. You can again have someone be more right and the other one be much more wrong, but everyone needs a little bit of a leg to stand on. It is really, really, really hard to defend a main character or to identify with a main character when you're like, girl, you are just all kinds of wrong. Stop, you're just wrong. But at the same time, it's difficult to identify with like why she's in love with him and why she's got all this tension if he's just wrong and an idiot all the time. Like there has to be something redeemable on both sides. There has to be room for a compromise, not just like you give in because you're all kinds of wrong. And again, that might be a totally valid story. I don't think it plays as well underneath the enemies to lovers banner. And again, everyone's got a different opinion on this, but I think that if they are making decisions that make sense for who they are, that this is intrinsic to who they are as characters, it's tied up in the plot and the reason that they are interacting with one another, and that they each are at least a little bit right while they are compromising. I think those things are going to go a long way.